Our Warlock engineers, and you can pass 6.2.2. I surprised myself seeing that even in the old days, I never actually had a video out for this hero. So it's time to go over this from nose to tail. Let's strap into the Doom Flare and hang on tight. Recruited for 1000 gold and 250 upkeep, kind of standard hero cost. On Ultra Scale, the hero comes at 3420 hit points. Armor is 45, or not as awful as Packmasters, and missile resistance the standard 15%. Leadership of 50 is nothing to be proud of. Speed 42, charge speed 48 are okay. Melee attack begins at 25, which is legitimately awful. Attack interval is the standard 4. Splash target size is medium, so Reichsguard on down, and max target splashed of 3. This won't feel irrelevant as we proceed. Melee defense starts at 32. Weapon strength comes at 280, split base 84, and armor piercing 196, so this is an armor busting hero despite the low overall strength. There is no bonus versus a particular type. Charge bonus is 10, mass is 250. Be acutely aware CA decide to raise the knockback and hit reaction ignore chances for foot characters, such as casters like this, to make it easier to put one out of the fight, to a point. The hero has a standard Encourage aura, can hide in forest, has the Scurry Away mechanic when routing, and the standard Wounds mechanic. Completely unlike Warlock Masters, there are no mounts here, so we're off to the skills. As an embedded hero, the Warlock Engineer provides increased mobility, making them very valuable like this, among many other campaign benefits. The map passive is Boost Income, which can be very nice, but it's tough to increase your capacity overall. In fact, let me mention here, it either takes a Scheme of Doom special engineer created Warlock Lab, or a Tier 5 engineering building, the one that gives Doom Wheel units, or a special skill from Ikit Claw one time. And they're specially relevant to him for warp fuel purposes. The agent actions, first, like with Pirate Coves, engineers can establish under cities with a 10-turn cooldown that is shared with the Scheme of Doom special engineers, but is not shared with generals who can establish rather than sack or resack a settlement. They can do this anytime, cooldown be damned. Remember that. Anyway, other agent actions which can produce warp fuel are Steel Technology, Wound, and Block Army, with specialists reducing the cost of these actions. For the magic line, the hero is standard up to a point, with Evasion offering plus 5 melee defense and plus 10% speed as of recent hotfixes. The hero can learn all spells of ruin aside from the Grey Seer specific Storm Vermin summons, but does not get Arcane Conduit, or Earthing for that matter, for lower miscast chance. In other words, the safest use of them is spamming non-overcast spells. In the top line, Sneaky and Tricksy are 1 pip each for plus 10% missile resistance or spell resistance, depending. Thus, we move to the final line, and it is very important. Why? Because it improves your missile units. Also, this is something you can start picking from turn 2. I do turn 3, more mobility is nice, okay? Standardized Firing Drill offers 8% reload time reduction to all missile units in the army, be they weapons teams or Skaven Safe Slingers. I make that point specifically because there's not a lot that can improve Skaven Safe Slingers. 3 pips of Arms Dealer provides plus 3% to trade tariffs faction-wide, and yes, that takes a while to ramp up and doesn't include your sales of gemstones or iron, but it is something. Ammunition plus 20% for all ranged units in your army is definitely a thing. Each pip in Warp Forged Armor provides plus 10 armor and plus 5% missile resistance, as in 2 pips provides plus 30 armor and plus 10% missile resistance. Nice! 1 pip of Augmented Weapon provides plus 7 melee attack, magical attack, and plus 5% weapon strength. 2 pips provides plus 15 melee attack, magical attack, and plus 10% weapon strength. That's a lot better than where we started. 3 pips of Triangulation provides plus 12% missile strength for the entire army. Brevity doesn't mean a lack of importance. That's a very blanket boon for your forces. Ballistics Calibration provides the namesake skill, cast range 55 meters, effect radius 55 meters, 90-second cooldown, 22-second duration. All missile units in that radius get plus 20 reload skill, so they are firing faster if they can. Rattling guns have a super low default for that, but lots of other stuff will dump their munitions substantially faster. 3 pips in Overseer raises the leadership aura size by plus 40%, not a bad thing among Skaven. Doom Rocket is an active ability for 1 pip, 200 meter range, 1 rocket per battle, 78 damage direct impact, which is flaming and magical attack, and 33% armor piercing, ho hum. Also, 78 explosive damage with the exact same profile within its 6 meter radius. That makes it impressive at taking a fat chunk out of a normal unit of infantry. It's there to soften stuff up. Ballistics Instructor for 1 pip, if it works like everyone else's, grants range plus 10% army-wide. That's nice. Sapper at 3 pips grants plus 15% speed to all missile units in the army, be they gutter runners or poisoned wind mortars. This has potential. The final pip is the annoyingly named Extra Powder. So since this one got me good in a different video, this is a pure passive ability that provides plus 10% to base and armor-piercing explosive missile damage to units within a 35-meter radius when they initiate the attacks. What has explosive damage? Oh, for instance, Poison Wind Globadiers and Mortars, Death Globe Bombardiers, the Avalanche Mortars, Plague Claw Catapults. That's most of it. It affects self, so it must increase Doom Rocket area damage too. Oh yeah, Woodfire Throwers. So there's some stuff out there you can combine with this for a little extra damage. It's both a boon and a boon. So how do we use the Warlock Engineers? Setting aside you have to use them for a lot of map actions as Ikit to get the most out of his workshop, that they're utterly indispensable for Undercities, and Snicket doesn't get Scheme of Doom, so that's a problem for him specifically, but they're so good to you inside an army that you almost want to cry at having all these valuable map purposes. Yes, the spells are good, but the lack of Arcane Conduit is crippling in the long run. The spells of Ruin can be fantastic, but more than likely, speaking from experience, you'll want to focus them on the missile unit boss. Even a tiny investment for the 8% reload time reduction is really good. It's important to go over that there is no Arcane Conduit here. This is a caster but cannot give you the workout gains from the wins. He does absolutely use the Musk of Fear passive. It's also notable he has no mount, but Augmented Weapon is one of your few reliable sources of magical attack for potential use on Belgar's Ghost Heroes and so on. Now, do you want them to duel like that? Goodness no. But sometimes it's still really good, and hey, new item system, sometimes you can get some very interesting results from giving an armor-piercing melee caster items that buff him further. You just have to accept you need Lords or one of the Sorcerers to get extra wins faster. All in all, this hero brings a lot. One last thing, auras and active abilities don't stack, but army-wide boosts should. So even though it's unlikely to get too many in a single army, it can lead to impressive results. Take care, and have fun bringing doom to your foes.